I love creating the podcast. If you have enjoyed the episodes in any way, the best way to support me is my subscription link. For as little as $3 a month, you can help support the time and production cost included in producing the podcast.
My name is Barbara Ann Briggs, and I am a certified teacher of Transcendental Meditation and also the author of 2 books, Pilgrimage on the Path of Love, a novel of visionary fiction, which has been hailed as the perfect amalgamation of spiritual awakening and self-discovery. I'm also the author of The Contribution of Maharshi's Vedic Science to Complete Fulfillment in Life. I'm a poet and a freelance journalist with numerous articles published in many different parts of the world. In this podcast, The Essence of Life, we will begin to understand the meaning of what is actually the essence of life and where can we find it. The essence of life is hidden in the silent source of life itself. The subject of today's podcast is the benefit of meditation. Meditation is a process of awakening the deeper, more creative, more powerful levels of our inner being. Through meditation, we become more wide awake inside. We gain the direct experience of the self, the Atman, the transcendental wholeness at the basis of individual life. The nature of the self is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal bliss consciousness. During the process of meditation, we experience quieter and quieter levels of the thinking process until we transcend thought and experience pure consciousness, pure silence, the unmanifest source of all streams of creativity, energy, and intelligence within the mind. Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of the Transcendental Meditation technique, describes this transcendental state in the following way, and I quote, "On the transcendental level, there is nothing but the self alone. The nature of the self is pure consciousness, cosmic intelligence, cosmic existence, cosmic life, eternal being, absolute bliss. It is the transcendent, ever the same, imperishable. It is smaller than the smallest. It is silence. The word self expresses the inexpressible, transcendental truth of life. The mind, coming to this field, loses its individuality and gains its true nature as being." End quote. The experience of transcending has been described by Maharshi as an experience of coming back home. As the mind moves toward the transcendental state of pure consciousness, the feeling of inner contentment grows. When we first learn to meditate, the experience of pure consciousness may be only momentary. Even so, the bliss, energy, and silence of the self begins to add a new dimension of inner harmony and wholeness in our life. Psychologists tell us that most of us use only about 5 to 10% of our full mental potential. That is to say, the full potential of creativity latent within us remains dormant. If we could find a method of accessing and activating the deeper levels of the mind, could we not find solutions to problems which on the surface seem insoluble? When the mind is calmer, more collected inside, and free from distractions, isn't our comprehension broader and more penetrating? The value of meditation is in gaining greater inner stability, a sharper focus in activity, and a fuller enlivenment of our inner resources of creativity and intelligence. The mind can be compared to an ocean. On the surface of the ocean, there are many waves. There is incessant movement. Similarly, the mind is filled with thoughts, random currents of activity which are not always useful or necessary for the tasks at hand. The thoughts may even be wrong, weak, and destructive. Every thought consumes energy. If a thought is not useful, energy is wasted. The practice of meditation trains the mind to contact the unbounded reservoir of creativity deep within the mind, so that only creative, useful, and life-supporting thoughts come. Through the regular practice of meditation, the mind becomes free from the binding influence of thoughts. One is not imprisoned by memories of the past or engrossed in vague imaginings about the future. One can live more fully in the present and thereby enjoy every moment of life much more. Most of us search for happiness in the outer material world through possessions, relationships, or through our achievements. We try to acquire more and more wealth or property, or try to find the perfect partner, or aim for a higher status in life. But gradually we realize that everything in the outer material world is subject to change. It is impermanent, and as such, it cannot provide lasting happiness. Our possessions may be lost or stolen, relationships may end in separation, and even our achievements may lose their significance over time. The result of meditating is that we can meet the challenges, losses, ups and downs that life brings without losing our balance. We become more established within ourselves, less like a football at the mercy of the changing situations and circumstances of life. We can respond to the changes rather than being overwhelmed by them. Gradually, we become anchored in an inner peace, an inner happiness that is independent of the environment. We are free to choose our destiny from the vantage point of a more wide-awake awareness of what we really want in life. The source of true and lasting happiness can only be found within ourselves. The process of meditation opens the gateway to eternal bliss consciousness. By leading the mind inward, it leads us to the undiminishable source of joy deep within ourselves. By meditation, we gain access to that which never changes, pure consciousness, the transcendental wholeness at the basis of life. Some call it the Atman, some call it God, or it can be personalized as Lord Shiva or Lord Krishna or the Divine Mother. It has also been referred to as the light of lights. There is a saying, the gate, and I quote, "The gate that silence opens within us leads to light. It is not outer reality that silence reveals, but our own innerness. Silence is essentially a surrender to the divine mystery." End quote. Meditation is a simple, easy, and practical method of expanding the conscious capacity of the mind. The mind expands from the surface active level to the deeper, silent, more powerful levels. The deepest level of consciousness, pure consciousness, is the simplest state of human awareness. It is a state of perfect unity or wholeness, where the duality between subject and object has completely dissolved. Meditation is a process of quieting the mental activity. During meditation, the mind settles down to the state of least excitation. It experiences unbounded awareness, the silent wholeness at the basis of life. Ralph Waldo Emerson understood that level of life. He said, and I quote, "Within man is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one." End quote. To know the self, the Atman, is to know who we really are. We are not the body, not the senses, and not the mind, not the intellect, and not the ego. These levels of our being are always changing. Thus, they cannot provide a reliable insight into the ultimate reality of life. Meditation reveals the self to itself. It gives us a direct insight into the never-changing, imperishable field of life, beyond time and space. We become aware of the unbounded ocean of eternal bliss and peace flowing at the deepest level of our being. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast so that we can share many more episodes related to unfolding the very essence of life. And I look forward to many more episodes in which we embark upon the quest of self-knowledge together. A new episode will be uploaded every 2 weeks. You are also invited to go to www.barbaraannbriggs.com to learn more about my work. Until next time, very best wishes.